wife. I'll make you celebrities. There are 3 TV stations here. So as you promised me to give me you promised to give me a keep, you're smiling and say what a wonderful, beautiful, marvelous day. You still remember your pledge this morning? You're still living that pledge? So is it still wonderful, beautiful, marvelous day? You sure? You're ready to be a celebrity today? So as soon as you leave this room, you will be Instagrammed, Facebooked, LinkedIn by so many people around the world. You want to be there? Okay. In front of you, there's a sheet with a number on top of it, and it says a goal. They are my 21 goals. Can you just pick it up, please? Pick it up fast, fast, fast. Okay? Please hold it this way. This way, so you can make your celebrity now. To your right. To your right. With both hands, please, exactly the same, the way how I do it. Right? Please do that. You don't do it, means you're not supporting me. You're not supporting sustainable. Please, with both hands. Both hands on the top, right extreme top, right, and right extreme bottom left. This way, this way, this way. All right? Thank you. So the camera people are taking photograph of you today. It's going to be the picture of the year. You're supporting sustainability. Great. You can't scratch it now. Send it to recycle. Thank you. Latif? Leading with pain. How is that title sounds like to you? Do you think leading is and really is that much painful nowadays? Hands up, do you have leaders around you? You feel it's really painful nowadays than ever? Right? Right? Is it something fun, enjoyable, or? Yes. Yeah? I love that, we'll see. Leading with pain. Especially with the wave of media, right? I still hearing people chatting over there. Please, can we shut them off, Latif? They're on the dancing floor, they're in the exhibition, having some fun, right? Especially with the media world now. Leading has become so much challenging, as I said earlier, because we become so much attached to the psychological part, not the logical part of us. So because so much driven by the psycho, especially with the life of the social media, as they say. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the list goes on every single morning. There's so much disrupted and disruption happening in our system. In every single minute. While I'm talking now, I can see still people, their head down, tilted down, and doing something with their mobile phone. Can you believe it? Up to this moment. It's true. That become so much addicted. And if your mobile does not ring, or you did not tweet to someone, you will just psychologically you'll pick up the phone, see why it's not happening, and you start teasing someone. Please wake up, right? So it's happening now. We become so much attached to these devices, so we cannot get out of it. That was too hard, but anyway, that was applause to give you all a red carpet treatment. Please feel good about yourself today. You're my VVIP guest. If I did not shake my hand or give you a hug or a kiss, please later on I can do that, right? No worries. So please, a red carpet treatment to all of you. You're always important to me. Please keep in mind that the time you're spending with myself now as a speaker, or the rest of the 16 speakers this day, the whole day long, is an investment. And you have given yourself a commitment earlier that you're looking for one thing to happen today. Out of it, one committed thing. Is it teaching, learning, networking, whatsoever, business, whatsoever. So please live that dream together. Dedication, I would love to dedicate this presentation to all leaders who struggle in these turbulent times to produce good results and bring out the best in themselves and others. So it's not only on themselves, but others. So those who are struggling on those turbulent times, this is my presentation to them. Please stop struggling. Let us think different. When you see such infograph, what does it mean here? It gives you a success image, right? So my first part is going to be a success. What type of success I'm talking about here? Let's face the real life stories, okay? The first fact here we have today, it says all humans struggle. Do you believe in this? all human struggle. Successful people act to gain value from the experience rather than become victims of the circumstances. So they don't wear the victim. I am a victim of the oil prices. I am the victim of the society. I am the victim of my company. I'm the victim of my team. So the successful people, they act. They don't react. They act to give a value to the experience they're running through. And that is the big difference they're doing. This is one of my quotes here. Please, either you listen to me or you look to him. We both twins, so we look the same. No worries for me. Right? Most of us wonder why we don't get different results. Why our lives is not wonderland, what you wanted. The reality that we don't take 100% ownership of what's happening to us. And we become very negativist. We think in a very negative way, and we become blame master. We try to pretend blaming others. This is what's happening to me or to the organization, the society, because of this, because of that, because of this. So we don't take the responsibility, the challenge, and we live up to the challenge. And that makes a big difference. So we have to take 100% ownership of our responsibility, and that is how we create difference, and this is how we make a difference. So, and the easiest targeted person is the time, poor time. He's the easy targeted. I don't have enough time. If I just given more enough time, I could have done this. If the time could go back 10 years back, I wouldn't do what I have done so far. So time, there's a different, and this is how to prove to you, we become more psychological than logical people. And this is how we read the time. So the time is so slow when we are waiting for someone. The time is so fast when we are late, right? Time is deadly when we are sad, when we feel sadness. It's deadly time. Time is so short when we feel very happiness. And time is endless when we are in pain, and a serious pain, isn't it? And the time is too long when we are feeling bored, right? So this is the way most of the people will read the time, right? So it's not about the time. It's about our feelings and psychological environment you're living in. That determines the people we are, right? So this is the basic definition of the time. It's about the feelings. It's about the psychological state of mind you're in. That is what defines the time. Now in management, I'm sure in life also, there's two things. There's a clock and a compass. You heard about the compass and the clock? They look the same almost, right? And sometimes they become as a corporate gift, both on each side facing each other, right? But there is a big story behind whomever give you a corporate gift, which has the clock and the compass in it. Remember this. He's trying to tell you one thing. He's trying to tell you that the clock is about doing more things faster. It's about the time. You have to keep challenge. You have to keep going to catch up with what's happening. A compass is about the direction you go to. So you cannot just run without a direction. You're going to be a failure. So you need a direction. So that reminds you, when someone's gifting you something, it reminds you about both things. So on that I have written a small book. I think most of you have it, right? Does anyone does not have this book? If you are interested, you can come to pick it up from me. I don't mind. And they will take a nice picture. Give a big smile. See? He said, I'll throw it in the trash soon. Thank you very much, sir, for saying that, yes. All right, so successful people, yes, they have money, they have fame, they have respect, they have success, they have knowledge, they have my endless list of things they have, right? This is the way how we see the successful people. But there's one thing here about success. They get massive rejection also. There's a lot of opposition, resistance of their success and their success stories. So they're not 100% loved. There's also the other extreme also, right? So there's massive rejection to them. I remember, again, I've written a book that was 11 years back. You could imagine, 11 years back. I've written a book called Is Success a Sin? And this is a small book. I still have a copy here. Small books, about 12 stories of mine, real stories, not fiction stories, real stories of mine. And in those stories, I just said how to be, again, to answer our CM. I have forgotten your name. What is your name, Tari? Yes, he said his name is Rashid again now. You're changing your name? Oh, it's Regis, all right, it's Regis. So 11 years back when I wrote this book, right? And it contains my personal stories. This is how to keep smiling in the most negative situation and environment, what to do the best, what drives you, but you as a human, you get also affected. So in this book, I said I was attacked and targeted. Attacked and targeted. Does anyone want a copy of this book? We'll give a chance to the ladies now. Ladies, do you have ladies around here? Okay, please, just one again. No, it will be your day. You keep smiling, keep positive. So, you see, this is what I was talking about. You didn't make my day. I said, please think positive. Don't be negative. See, today is going to be a wonderful day. Can you say it, please? Wonderful, beautiful, marvelous day. Can you say it? Wonderful, marvelous day. All right, so stick with that. Believe me, there's something coming in your way. All right, take a nice picture with the lady here. Yeah? Right, thank you. I call those creatures the shape-shifting creatures of darkness. They don't work in the front of you. They always work at the back of you. They work in dark. So I call them energy vampires. You know, you heard about the American movie, the vampires, the blood vampires. This is energy vampires. So they drain you down to the best they could. And how do you know them? They always say, poor me. We've never been included on the team. You know, look at him, what he's doing. He never even consulted me. I've been here for the last 10, 15, 20 years. But, you know, we're being sided. So they are the energy vampires. Their role in the organization just to send negative messages about the leadership, about the successful people, and they keep blaming the circumstances. They've never been included. So why others being included, you're not being included? You have to ask yourself this question. So they work on nights, right? And I'm happy that someone has sent me this from South Africa. So I'm really happy that my book has reached South Africa. It was one of the social media friend of mine reposted to me, said, Rashid, listen, I saw it in one of the social media. There's a gentleman who wrote nicely about your book, and he sits on the Heroes Mountain in South Africa. This is what they call them, the Heroes Mountain, right? So I'm happy that the message is going across and reaching that far. So in that book, what I said, I'm up to the challenge. And this is what I want you to keep yourself in that state of mind when you're leading in pain and we're in a negative situation or a circumstance is so good, just stand up and say, I am up to the challenge, right? I am up to the challenge. So if anyone on you now in the morning have any issue, whether it's a family, whether it's a friend, whether a relationship, whether a business, whether whatsoever, please keep it for, please don't stand up, otherwise everybody will know that you're in a challenge, you're in a pain. So keep it for yourself, but affirm to yourself, saying that I'm up to the challenge. All right, I'm giving you a couple of seconds to say it quietly. I'm up to the challenge. All right, and this is what I keep saying. I will not survive, I will prevail. I will not merely succeed, I will thrive. That was my message. Whenever I go in that pain, I said I'm going to be. This is my message, right? There is a nice song back on 78 by Gloria. It says, I will survive. Have you ever heard about this song? Yeah? Very lovely song. Please go ahead and do it today during the break. I will survive. So for me, I will not survive, but I will prevail. So I'm different. I probably become a dancer later and singer. Please do vote for me, right? If you see me in the X Factor show, please don't forget, yeah? Yeah. I don't know, but believe me, my voice is good when I sing. So I started my journey, my painful journey back in 1990. I was at the age of 95. Everyone asks about my age. Whenever I see people or delegates come to my office, when they leave, the first question I ask my colleagues, my team, how old is he? I don't know, there's something attached to this. Age. And they keep saying age is a number only, isn't it? Victor, it's a number only, right? All right, so thank you very much. Yeah. So I still look young? Shukran. Ladies, I don't mean to, you say yes, please. All right, thank you. So back then, I was given an honorable assignment by our beloved President, His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan Muhammad Qasimi, to lead at the age of 25 years. I was just US graduate, working as a gas plant engineer in the Sajja, and I was called as a volunteer. And I given a title right away to be a general manager. So it means that there's something, skills that I don't know about myself, probably someone else has been monitoring and seeing. I said, okay, I need you now to volunteer to run this, going to drain this organization. And since then, I started taking one by one, and there was a time when I was running 4 big organizations for 10 years at the same time. I was running the airport, I was running the Hamriya Free Zone, I was running the ports, I was running the customs. For 10 years, running from an office to another, corner to another of the Sharjah government for 10 years in a very successful way. And back in 2014, it was precisely 22nd of April, the SIWA, or the Sharjah Electricity and Water Authority, was running through a tough challenge. And the leadership felt that there's a real massive big bang is needed, a big transformation. So I was pulled from the 4 departments and given this assignment to focus on one, which is SIWA. And since then, I've been doing, alhamdulillah, a great job. I'm proud of what I'm doing. So during that time, I kept positivity. I kept looking back to the brighter future. I know how to deal with those dark creatures the best I could. Right? At the end of the day, I'm still a human, so I get so much affected by them, and I reflected that in a book. But still, I was ahead of the competition. I was up and running and running and running, right? And before I proceed further, that was only commercial break, by the way, right? Commercial ice break. So you have to bear with me. You're here for another 2 hours, please, right? This is what the Harvard Business School has released a couple of years back. They say we remember 10% of what we read. If you read something later on, you may remember 10%. And 20% of what you hear, all right? And 30% of what you see. So don't look at me too much today. You'll be remember me 30% after. And 40% of what we do when we give you engagement, right? Do this, stand up, do this. So engagement is giving you 40% of the knowledge. And you have 100% of what you feel, you're feeling. So we need you to feel good about the program today. Are you going to give us a promise?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't need to shout, right? Part 2 of my program. When you see this, what does it say? It talks about what is the most common word here in this? Crisis, right? So unfortunately, I'll be talking about the crisis because during crisis, we lead with pain, right? This is the GCC now. After we have issue with Qatar, as you know, we have renamed our GCC. We became Global Credit Crunch now. So we are rebranding ourselves like Global Credit Crunch now. Anyway, back then, this is what I said. That was again back in 2009, February 22nd. I was on the same podium when I announced that this issue with Lehman Brothers is going to be a global issue, and it will not be solved within a couple of months or years. It will be years and years to send. And still I have that record when I stood up here. It was so much debated. People at the beginning felt it is a US problem. It is one of the banks. It's just like the other Iran and other companies, and that's it. But I was debating, no. It's a global, and it's going to take us to a totally new landscape. And I was right. So it took us to a stage where I call uncertainty. And I said, uncertainty is the new norm now. Uncertainty. We're lost. That was the zone we are. We are in no man's zone for almost 10 years plus. And there was the Lehman Brothers. You know, Lehman Brothers was 159 years old bank. So it wasn't a small bank. It was a 159 years old bank when it collapsed. You could imagine. Why? Because of the authenticity was missing. The direction was missing. Yes, they were fast with the time. They were making so much progress in the world, opening offices, selling their product, their services, but they never had a direction, the leadership. And they lost the way totally. And that is the reason why we see with your leading, you need the time and you need the direction with you. So it was a very debated, right, point in the world. People are shouting, running from country to another, G20, G+, and G+. We've been hearing so much of organizational, so much of government interference in the system. And there was a lot of debate, people sitting at the schools, universities, what's happening. At the same time, those who think in a very positive way, there were people during that darkness, those dark days, from America itself. There were two lovely companies. They're working in love with themselves. They were approving, they're accepting themselves, and they made a wonder. Do you know who are they?
Uber.
Very good. Yes, that's Uber. The second?
Airbnb.
No?
Oil. Airbnb. Oil.
Exactly. You need a hug or a kiss? Thank you. Astaghfirullah. Anyway. All right. So Uber and Airbnb, right, sorry, BNB. All right. They were making progress. You know the revenue of Uber last year? 7.5 billion US dollar. 7.5 billion. And Airbnb, operating in how many countries? 167 countries. And less than, they were incepted back in 2009, September and October. You could imagine. This much short span of time. How much your service, your product, your name, your logo, your face in the world now, for those who don't work for multinational companies here. You ask yourself, if they could do it, why you couldn't? Why not you? There's fundamentals. Believe leadership, as I said in my opening remarks, day before yesterday, it starts within. It is inside-out process. It's not outside-in process. Leadership will start within. When you start to love yourself, first of all, accept yourself, that's the real test of a leadership. All right, 2016, we experienced again a big fall of the oil prices. Yes, help me, I'm falling down. Yes, and nobody can help you. And I said it loud and clear. The oil price will not come back to where it was earlier. It was, by the way, during the crisis of 2008, 2009, we used to sell the oil prices at the rate of 120 US dollar a day. 120. During that bad time, the crisis. Now it is below 50, 50. And it went down to 40 almost, and below. And we don't know where but it's a dream to come back to 100 plus. It will never come. And that's what I said back in 2006 here. It's good that I keep those guys, the camera people, so they're capturing my things. And I said, this is for the future. And that day, I said we're going to live a totally new killer called the silent killer. There's something cutting the organizations, the companies, the countries, the individuals silently. It's just like a cancer. You know, it is there in your body, you never know. When you go for a prescription or you go to see the physician, they prescribe you, they say, okay, we discover something small, tiny thing in you is going to destroy the whole body of you. And that's the reality. And I said, that is the 2016. There's something I was calling the silent killer. And it's happening now, you can see it. Just look at the events happening from 2016 up to now, whether it is political, social, economical, and you just judge yourself. It's not centuries ago. I'm just asking you to compare less than 2 years with now. Toys R Us, I was on recent visit to the United States. I was in Washington, D.C., my family, and I saw this gentleman standing up by the gate, and I requested my son, please, can you request the gentleman to take a snap for him because I would need him in my presentation. He says, with a pleasure. I went to him and says, I really feel so down, so bad that a big organization, big company, which inspire the whole kids throughout the world, is going out of business. And they were selling, I went to the shop even, that they're selling up to 90% discount. But anyway, to my luck, when I went there, the shop has got nothing except 2-3 pencils around. That's it. Everything was sold like a hot cake. You could imagine. Such a big organization. Why? Because they did not believe on the leading in pain. You have to have that positive mindset. So they still felt that negativity on them, and they start to blame the US government, they start to blame everybody, so they're out of business. So goodbye, Toys R Us, right? In Alleem Congress at the same time, I was preaching, and I was telling everyone, and I've told the participant to take an Instagram or a snapshot and come to the stage, because that's going to be your lifesaver for you. The 3 Ps, right? They are the ones. I said, please be positive, patient, persistent. keep pushing forward to the brighter future. I said, come to the stage here, stay to that corner, so it's going to be a nice picture of his own, became an artist. So you stand up here, you take a nice picture, so your picture, our logo, and the 3Ds reminds you of the life. Right? He said you have to be patient, positive, and persistent, keep pushing forward to the future. In this way, you can really gain the things. And I was given a good example when I took over the SEWA, right, the organization. It was down to drain, and within fundamental principles, I was able to, again, rescue the organization. I need one copy. Please come in, see. No one said, isn't your day today? Now we'll see. No, but this is 100 dirham. I mean it, yeah. No worries?
I'll take you for 1,000.
No, credit cards, he said, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah. Give the smile to the gentleman here. So on this book, I said that in life you have to have fundamentals, you have to have principles. So I've listed the very common global, if you would call them, principles. They start with the very basics. The human touch is the smile. Can we give each other a smile, please, now? Not to laugh, please smile. Laugh at me later on, but smile for me now. All right? So start with the smile, ends up with the teamwork. So that much. It's all human. So if you build in the human, this is the missing piece we need. We need fundamentals. We need to go back to the human. And I'm so much happy. Do you know this gentleman? Does anyone know this man? Yeah, you know. My book has reached there. He's holding the book. See, that much, alhamdulillah, when you have inspiration, could be this. But I really felt so good that he was so kind to accept the copy, at the same time, not me, it wasn't me, I swear I was here in Sharjah, but someone sent me that Dr. Mahathir has accepted your book, and he was kind to accept to take a copy to send it back to you. So I really feel so much inspired that such a great leaders of the globe, they have reached that. So I'm really thank you, Dr. Mahathir. All right? Breaking news. You love the news? Yeah? But breaking news. Unfortunately, again, we are psychological, right? Not logical. Every time there is something called breaking news, that we are breaking heart. There's something falling apart. Oh my God, what's next now? What's going to happen, isn't it? It's again, this is why we've been psychologically driven. We never break the good news. The good news just come back normal. Okay, we built the longest toll in the globe, for example, building. Or we did so and so. It's very normal. We never call it a breaking news. We don't know how to market it. But for the bad news, we know how to market it. Now the whole globe, whether you speak Chinese, Japanese, African, Arabic, English, whatsoever. If you see breaking news, everybody knows. What does a breaking news mean in English, right? Bro, they don't speak English, but they know what breaking news is all about. That much bad we became. So I have breaking news for you. Let us see. See, even, does anyone know those two gentlemen? Do you want to give them a hand or what? I mean, North Korea wasn't evil, as I know, throughout the American history. And overnight, in less than 24 hours, they become the white angel of the globe. They're the most loved. And Mr. Trump is claiming that I need to get the Peace Award of, what they call that? Nobel Peace Award. He said, they have to give it to me because I have done good. We were just about to fight and destroy the whole world. Now we became lovers, all right? So we love each other. So this is not a fake story. This is a real story and a real picture that we're running through what's called a totally new world order, where the distribution of power and the authority will be among the authorities of power in the globe. So for us, we as a business people, there will be a lot of opportunities, I know, and could be a lot of challenges, we never know. So that's why I say we are in the wait and see transition now. We are wait and see of what this deal is gonna lead to us later on. So we don't know, but we have to, as the gentleman is doing right here, keep moving, don't give up, right? Don't give up. Don't take the toxic news in your head, right? You're not being... So stop your ordering, Rashid here. You want me to stop? If I stop, you go for a break. If I continue, the break will be delayed. Continue? Yeah, I know that the other side of the answer. What are you trying to say, Dr. Alleem? Don't know. I'm looking for quality leaders now. All right. So what? Yes. What am I supposed to do? That's the question, isn't it? Right? Think back to 2008, 2009, and destabilizing events in the world happening. From that day, close your eyes. Please don't go for a deep sleep. Quick. Close your eyes, open it up, see what's happened from that time till now at your country level, your markets, work, and your life. If you just jot them down, one, what's happening at the country level, just one quick things, your markets, your work, and life. And you could see so many events were happening in a very fast. But I keep this question, I said, there's something is missing from the system. Something is missing for us, the leaders. Yes, events, crisis, breaking news, whatsoever. What is that something missing that I want to give you a piece of advice to take home with you today? Are you ready? Can you guess what is it? That something is missing that you need to do. And you have to promise me to do. Will you? You have so many promises, so much promises today. Quiet time, and I said daily quiet time. Please capture a time of the day. You decide whether early morning. I've seen some of the big writers, Americans, and especially from the US, in Europe and other. They say the best time is the time at 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning. Most of the writers and other. And for the Muslims, this is the time of the first prayer of the day. You could imagine. So it became like a universal thing now, that the best time. So probably you can give yourself that time 1 hour before you go to work, have that quiet time with yourself. Just a couple of minutes. It does not have to be in hours. Minutes is more than enough, but it has to be totally in isolation, totally quiet time. And someone's telling me quiet time has keeping 2 mobile phones in front. It's now because I'm waiting for an important call. That's not a quiet time at all. Right? So please be away from all those things. Throughout the history, you look to the historians who have written histories and who have written about the successful people, leaders throughout the organization, successful countries. There are 3 things, and I summarize the whole research in 3 R's, because I love to summarize things. They always retreat, they reflect, and they renew. Renewals. They go for renewals. Those individuals. When they do this, the 3 R's together, reflection, retreat, renewal, they disconnect, right, from their disturbed zone to the very comfort zone. They sit in that comfort zone, and what's happened? They start to recall the energy. The energy starts to come, recall. The universe has got so much energy on it, by the way. It just, you have to be ready to receive that energy. Every morning, it's just like the solar power. How does it work? There's an energy. I mean, if we go, all of us now, take one solar panel and sits outside, at the same time, the universe will be giving you that energy. It can light a lighter or a cigarette or a fan or a light or whatsoever. Can you agree with me or not? Yes. Thank you. That's pure engineering, isn't it? But that's not about pure engineering. That's pure way of reading the universe. The universe has got so much for you. It's just waiting for you to come and be ready for it. So the time is coming. So when something happens to you, it's not by default. There is a message from the universe asking you to wake up. Hey, wake up. Your time has come. Does anyone here feel a little pain in the back? I'm not a healer, by the way. I'm not a spiritual speaker, but that's what it is. Does anyone have any pain in the knee, the neck, The heart, we all are broken hearts. Thank you, and I'm one of them. We know that. Yeah, we're in big, deep love. Yes, that's a lovely story. No, but different part of you. Anyone? Try to speak to that heart. Not now, please. They will tell you crazy. I will tell you the crazy thing. Tell your knee, when your knee has got some problem and you're at the age of 45 or 50, your knee loves you so much, it's giving you a signal. It tells you, George, Nabil, Muhammad, Salim, Hisham, wake up. I love you. For the last 45 years I've been carrying you without a pain. Now I have the pain. It's a universal language to you, a universal signal. So what you do, please, go back, put your hands on top of them, says, I really love you. I'm so sorry that, been missed to take care of you. I didn't do enough exercise enough. I really love you so much. I swear, you do this a couple of times and you'll be healed. I'm not spiritual believer, but it happens. I've got so many friends, so many people, and one of them that it did happen to, and I start before I go to sleep or whenever I have time, even while at work, I start talking to my body. It is painful. My brain, please calm down. I really love you. I know that I give you so much heart. So much. Sorry, C was such a bad organization, but you're such a great organ of me. I love you so much. We're gonna stay together, but that organization is gonna throw me from the window tomorrow morning as soon as they're fine. So I love you. You're my brain. And you come and you start to heal. You have a healing power. Your parents, right, most of you did. It happens when you go home. Your small kids, they come like butterflies. They fly into you, and what happens? They fall down. They crash the system. It's bleeding, and what you do? Oh, sweet, and you have them screaming like hell. With a couple of seconds, they're so quiet. Even though they're bleeding, but they're quiet. And then they go sleep even. Did it happen? Because you have given them free healing. The universe is telling you, you have power, but you're not using that power. And when you started unconsciously to use the power, you started to hug her, give her a kiss, and start to do. In a couple of seconds, and she's back to normal, and she may sleep on your bleeding. Does it happen? So please don't keep shouting when there's something wrong goes out. Yeah, we are very good in doing this. You start to blame the team, you prime the circumstances out, the environment. Stop blame gaming, right? And I want to remind you of the cyclone. You know the hurricanes, the cyclones, how they go? If you go deep inside the picture, there is one circle inside. From that circle, the hurricane, right, or the cyclone gains the power. And the middle is very quiet, and everything goes moving around him. Because of that quiet time, because he was able to hold them together in the center of the cyclone, he created that massive destruction power. And you can see that takes the car, takes the whatever, so much heavy that you couldn't even think of, buildings, and it goes like piece of earth in the sky, isn't it? From that quietness, it gains that thing. So we need you to go for that quiet time. So again, the 3 R's about the reflection is about fixing your thought on something. Retreat, about changing your mindset, right? And renewal is the process of moving from A to B zone. So please think of those 3 R's together. And one of the things I said, one of the ways is through the mindfulness. We need you to be a mindful leader during the crisis, during the bad time. Please take a deep breath and stop and inhale it out to refresh, to energize yourself. And you call this is part of the mindfulness. Mindfulness is about meditation, prayer, changing the state of your mind, but it is needed. It is needed. So you can talk about yourself now here, yeah? You do this later on, not now, but you do it now, we're going to smash your colleague's head. So please don't do it now, but do this later on. So this is the what? What's written there? The what? The past and the future. Which one you can control? Which one? The future. The past is what? It's gone. You just draw lessons from the past. But you cannot do anything about the past. It's gone. But you can do so much about the future. You can change the future. You can say, Mr. Future, come on, I want to hug you, I want to love you, I want to kiss you, and I want to do this on you, please help me out. So it is in your hand to think about the future. It's a state mind picture about the future. Today is today, so let's enjoy today. There will be a break now, so let's enjoy that break. We network, get more communication, sit together. Let's build on the human side of us now. So as we said, past, we learn from it. Future, we create it. Today is the day. Today is the day we need to enjoy together, right? Don't miss a single moment of the day. Leaders for a future. One missing piece, I keep saying. Always, this is the missing piece. We don't take the spirituality with us where we go. I'm not trying to preach a certain religion here. Spirituality, the deep value of you. And I put my own definition for the spirituality. It's about the inner path of enabling person to discover the essence of being the deepest value and meanings of life. The meaning. Your job, whatever you do, should have a meaning. Right? When we discover the meaning of doing something, it takes us to totally different ball game, right? So there's no painful. What does the image tell you now? The questions, when you see the image of this, what does it say? It's about what? Happiness? Success? Failure? About what? No, when there's question, you're just questioning things, right? So you're uncertain, right? So the image is about uncertainty. I said life is uncertain, isn't it? Life is uncertain. The future is unknown. Do we know the future well? No. We can project, but we don't know. But that's neither good nor bad. It's neither good nor bad. So, okay, life is uncertain, future is unknown. So not good, not bad. What's the most important thing here to do is how to master our own fate. That is the question to be asked. How am I mastering my own fate? My own way of life to navigate through this uncertainty or whatsoever you would call it. So that's the starting point. That's the right starting point, is to answer this question. And that to be answered with the true vision. And I keep saying, I keep preaching for the last 10 years, there's a big difference between vision and true vision. We all have visions almost here. We are business people. We all of us have visions. And the vision is a very beautiful statement, written, sat on the wall, collecting dust. And you say this, to be among the best or to do the best. We are the leader on that. That is your vision, that's fine. But there is something bigger than the vision, which is the true vision. True vision here, I need two things of you, right? I need to have your heart and your mind. So when you have the heart and the mind together, synergize, work together, love each other, then you are in the true vision state of mind. Then you can become a leader who could really destroy the circumstances and really move outside the silo. And he can make a difference. He or she can make a difference. So true vision talks about your heart. Your heart should carry fundamentals, value system, timeless principles. And your mind should carry the achievements, goals, challenge, aspiration, opportunities. When you have the two things, they work together. Most of you remember this infographic, which I did again long time back, and this is what I've been preaching, emphasizing, that a vision statement on the wall is not enough. We still need it, part of the business process, the business system. But what is really needed is both the heart and the mind to work together. And when you have them all together, they will give you the true north, where to navigate through life. What is the true success direction? Is it to the north or to the south or to the east or to the east-west? Right? So when you have the true vision, believe that automatically the end result will take you to the right path. And there's a great book by an author called Bill George, is one of the inspirational speakers and authors, and most of the US presidents, almost 4 of them, they've used this man. Every time they call him to give him an inspiration about how the things is happening and how the world is moving. So they're really great people, scholars out there. Even the top president of nations, they call them from time to time because he's one of the good people who spoke very well. And he has a YouTube also. You can search on him, Google him today, and right. So when you have the true vision and the true north, you become like a magnetic. Automatically, the good people will come to you automatically. So you don't need to search for them and go for them. They are people. Sorry for this, but this is how we look like, right? We're attracted by those leaders, the great leaders. We love them, and we really go that much with them. So you've seen this. This is my own picture I took when I was in New York 2 months back, and it's about a company called. How do you know this? Wow, there was no name, nothing here. Okay, that's the power of the brand. So if I put your logo here, probably with your name also on the logo, can you tell how much time people will start? Just they need probably 1 minute to read your name. So if I put your logo here, without name, that you think is going to be identified or none? At least by us here. What do you think? That much we are way behind when it comes to the branding. So we need to work on ourselves a lot. And it's good that I have a great colleague, a great inspirational speaker from Saudi Arabia. He did a well job yesterday. Thank you very much. He had, mashallah, and he holds a company called Brandship. So if you're interested in positioning, branding, doing good job, they have offices. I'm doing a little commercial. He paid me 100,000 to see this last night. Thank you very much, Ziad, for paying me that much. Right? I'm just kidding. You serious guys are serious. So start looking at him. Look at me. Come on. All right. So this is Bill, and this, the gentleman. Who is this? Who was he? Who was he? Late Steve Jobs. Goodbye. He's gone now. He's no more there. Allah yarham ummat Muhammad yarham al-jami'. But he's no more there, right? But he left what we call in management a legacy. I'm sure all of you came across this. Let me tell you about one thing about this gentleman. He or any successful leader, he had a true vision, by all means, and ability to show the world how long-term, sustained performance can be engineered and imagineered at the same time into the DNA of the enterprise right from the very, very, very beginning. So he had that ability because he was carrying a true vision. Listen to his last video where he was just saying goodbye to the whole world after he's been, he was under the treatment of a cancer. Very inspirational, at the same time heartbreaking, when he was speaking from the deep heart, right, about his value system. And then you will discover he speaks the same language I'm speaking now. Carrying goals is not enough. You have to carry fundamentals, carry human side of you, wherever you go. So this is the breaking news lately from Apple. First, in the recent history, a company will break a record of $1 trillion as a market capitalization. $1 trillion. I'm sure we have financial controllers, we have financial people around here. 1 trillion. And this trillion was broke after his death, years after, not his. So what does it mean? That the fundamentals he created in the organizations are still lived. And go to the net now, to the Google, just type Steve. Your name might be Steve, but Steve Jobs will come first. And probably it will take another 100 years to have your other Steve of you to come with the net. I don't know. It could be, I don't know if we do something remarkable. But look at when you leave a legacy. And still up to the moment, he's resting in peace somewhere, and you're talking about him. Because it's not only me, probably at the same time, so many parts of the whole globe, people talking about him and the Apple, right? And how much they made a record right after even him. So I keep telling everybody, it was last year Congress, 3 hours, please take a nice snap of the slide here and keep them in front of you in the bed, in the office, in the car. If you want to do a transformational change in your life. But I know most of you have given me a promise, and they get my sign on the book, and they say, thank you, sir. We promised to do it, and no one has done it. Thank you very much. You broke my heart. You broke the promise. Remember the 3 R's. Will you give me promise? All right, do one thing. Promise you give one of your loved ones, I'm sure not the wife or the husband, will be the kids, right? Give one of your kids. This is like today. Please do this. I'm not kidding. You think I'm always not serious? I'm serious now. I'm laughing, I'm serious. Give one of your kids today. Tell I, because I love you, Mom, and I can see you great leader of the future. Remember the 3 R's. Wherever you come across difficulties in life, remember the 3 R's. They were taught to us this morning, and I felt, yes, an acceptance with them. So please write them. The first R start with Rashid. No, sorry, start with review, right? See a summary of the main learning points in your life so far, right? 1 or 2. Go back quickly to the recent history of you. What is the main learning point you learned? Just note it down, right? Then move to the second R, which says about reframe. Consider ideas that represent new ways of thinking. So how can I go for a paradigm shift? How can I change the course of thinking? By adopting the second R. It's to help you to go for the new way of tools, new way of thinking. You promise? The third one, very easy, is about engagement or reflection. Or reflect, how to engage in the thought-provoking questions. We have more than, mashallah, alhamdulillah, I see the whole zone is full today, alhamdulillah, so over 200 already plus. So you can easy network and try to see who are really in the same path of thinking with you, he or she, to create a better tomorrow, to create a business together, to make money together, right? So did you take any? No? Right, I haven't heard any noise anyway. Does anyone know about this gentleman? Irfan Hafiz? Inshallah, he's resting in peace now. He's from Sri Lanka. Some of you have heard about his story, right? This gentleman, he passed away now. And everybody calling him the keyboard warrior and silent fighter. This gentleman was suffering from a severe disease, and he was for 26 years almost on the bed rest with a disease called DMD, right? So I'm not a physician, but they say DMD is that disease, very rare disease. And the only part of his body was able to move is one finger, just one. Just one. Right? You could imagine, just one, only one finger. And his mom bought him an iPad. And he started using that one finger, that one and the iPad. And he was able to author 3 books. 3 books. You see them in Amazon, you see them in the world leading organization. One about the silent thoughts, silent struggle, and comments of memorance. Very beautiful books, with only one finger. So don't blame circumstances. And he was in bed ridden for 26 years with one finger only. Move. You could imagine. So please don't blame the circumstances for now. What we need all to do, please, today is have a paradigm shift in our thinking, right? Then please don't do like this gentleman. Go and dig a hole and put your head inside, say, I'm looking for a paradigm thinking. Rashid told us to do this today. No, I'm not doing this. I'm telling you, please go and do something totally different. Think new way of thinking, a new way of your behavior, and change the way how. But focusing and keep focusing on the uncertainties lead us to frustration, failure, unhappy life. So don't focus on the uncertainty, focus on the possibility, focus on what can be done rather than what cannot be done, right? So what, please don't tell me so what. You're gonna regret. You're gonna regret if you don't really take what I'm giving you. It's a lifetime piece of advice. Please take it. You're gonna regret it later on. If not, if you keep saying so what, there will be a time in your life, and we have so much living examples, you will be in a mental pain. Mental pain is a disease now. That there's a negative thoughts keep going and going and going around. If you visit the World Health Organization website, the main website, you know what is the first thing is going to come to you nowadays? You know what? Over 800,000, below 1 million, committing suicide every year willingly. They go and commit suicide. And you'll be surprised, most of them are not poor. We think that they're poor people going to do that. No. Most of them are celebrities, those who made it to the top. Why? Because they never listen when someone is telling them, hey, stop, the universe is calling you to stop now. Hold your horse for some time. They never listened. They kept going. Then they came to that state of mind where there's nothing to do but except to say goodbye to their life willingly. And you'll be one of those people giving such statements later on. There's nothing I can do. I'm falling apart. The pain will never go away from me. What's wrong with me? It's only me. I can't find meaning in my life. And futile state of mind, very futile. Incapability of producing any useful result or pointless. You feel you're pointless, you cannot produce any results. So we call this futile, right? Futile. And this is a real letter sent by one of the executive to one of the world-known inspiration speakers. And I was able to get a copy of that letter. And I put the letter without the name as is exactly the way he has written that letter. He said, last night, when I examined my deepest values and examined how I have lived my life, it hit me like freight train, right? I now realize that I have been hiding from the truth all along. I have been so eager to get to the top that I neglected the people and compromised the causes that meant the most to me. This is the first part of his letter. The second part, he said, in a sense, I feel I sold my soul according to what I thought I wanted. I achieved all. I did all my achievements. I am pretty much on the top of the world, but according to what I really feel deep inside me matters to me, my family, again, my health, my relationship, I have failed. To be honest, I have known for a long time that some level, what I was chasing was futile, pointless. So I hope you won't be becoming one of those on the future, whether near future or down the road future, right? Be careful of your life. So part 4, I'm talking about the leadership I'm looking for. Whenever you talk leadership, such graphs and infographics comes, I don't want you to think, we are beyond this now. We are beyond this, isn't it? So one of the principles in today's management called the agile leadership. Agile is about efficiency, about performance, about doing the best. And agile came from an IT sector, first of all, when it came in, long time back. The IT people, they use this agile, right? But later on, it was adopted by the project management professionals. And there was a system and school of thought, they say agile project management. How to make sure that the projects are completed on time, fast with the specification, you have to be agile. And then now again, things are evolving with the time. Now there's a school of thoughts, talk about agile leadership. But for me, agile, yes, about speed, efficiency. But agile to me is about what emotionally it drives you to give yourself the best of yourself and the best of the resources you have. What's that things? That thing is your fundamentals. You carry in the heart and the mind of achieving those fundamentals. So this is the agile to me. Being an agile means that you're enabler and disruptor. You have to carry two hats. When you think I'm agile leader, agility and leadership is about two things, how to be enabler and disruptor. Enabler with your people and connecting your people to perform better, how you can do that, and then disrupting their thinking, like a design thinking now. One of the thinking for disruption is the design thinking. Is a new thought or a new business thought and being taught in a very high level. So to be ahead of the competition and to be able to adapt rapidly in the changing environment, you need to be agile. And to be agile, you have to carry the 3 Ps again. I spoke about 3B as a Bs. Now 3 Ps, okay? With an air pressure out of the P, if you would, right? The 3 Ps of leadership start with the first things in life we keep teaching is about the passion. Passion is about emotions, about the love. I say this very clear. Passion, dreams are not the same. They may sound the same in English, but they're totally different when it comes to business. We need both. We need the passion, we need our emotions, why we love what we do. You have to answer this. Why we love what we do. The second, once you have the passion, then that passion automatically gives you a purpose for existence. Why you exist as a person or why you exist as a company, and this is what you do with that existence. And if you have the passion, you have the existence, that will give you the performance. How to break, and we call this the performance about the goals. How to break the big goal into attainable, achievable, actionable, doable goals, right? So we will have all the 3 Bs together. So please, I need you again to pull up your paper and your pen. Can you do this? And do the same thing. Write, I can't and I am impossible, right? And do the same thing. When it comes to the I can't, just steer the T away, so make it I can. So join my club. I have a club called I Can Club, right? So do this, please. I want to hear the paper. Tear. Can we do this? No worries, we'll send it to the recycle. Yeah, excellent. Doctor did a great job here.
It's a mental.
It's a mental, yes, I love that. Please write I can't, then please tear the T away. So how does it read now? I can, right? Thank you. Okay, go for the I am or impossible. Write impossible. If you don't know how to spell it, it is written there already. Impossible. You can Google it, how to write impossible, how to spell it. And just again, turn it, read it differently. Either to take the I and M and say that possible, or read it, I am possible, right? So it can be read 2 ways, right? Can you do this? Otherwise, you'll be like this gentleman, just keep moving around. Talks about the leadership, and he's just moving in that circle. How are we doing with the time? Yeah. He said, Latif, I still have 1 hour to go. Thank you. Do this like this gentleman. He posted on his Instagram, social media. I love Paris. He couldn't make it to Paris. You know, when you have clever engineers, they say engineers always problem solvers. So he went one at the back of the pylons, the electrical tower. We call them pylons. He went at the back and took a nice snapshot and said, I love Paris. And he sent it to his friend. So please be creative. Don't keep the environment capturing you. So you can do it. All right? You promise? Don't do this, huh? I love Paris, right? Okay, you have reached our final slides. Please give yourself a hand. Would you do this for yourself, not for me? Please save the bigger one for me later on. I still have 1 slide to go. It used to be 10 years back, I had a very inspiring program called If It's Not Here, Then Where? If it's not you, then who? If it's not now, then when? That used to be one of my inspiring programs earlier when I started, because you are the one. It's the time you enjoy. If it's not you, then who? If it's not here, then where? If it's not now, then when? Right? With this, I can say thank you very much. Thank you. Give me the big one.